What forms are you required to obtain from every new employee? You must have a Form W-4, a Form I-9, and maybe the state equivalent of a W-4 form. The IRS W-4 needs to be filled out by every new employee. Try to have the employee complete it as quickly as possible and before their first payroll is processed. This form gives you their tax information and allows you to calculate the taxes to withhold. If the employee fails to provide you a properly completed form, then you must withhold tax as if the employee is claiming single and no exemptions. Employees or employers are not allowed to modify the Form W-4 by marking out or adding additional language. If this is done, the form becomes invalid, and you have to withhold at a single and zero exemption rate, regardless of what the employee says. If the employee gives you a plausible story why they should be withheld differently, call your CPA or the IRS. If you outsource your payroll, talk to your service provider. It is not uncommon for some employees to have a strange story as to why they don't have to fill out a W-4, or an explanation as to why their employer does not have to withhold taxes from their paycheck. I personally have never seen one of these stories hold up under IRS scrutiny. Now, the employer is not responsible for the accuracy of the information on the Form W-4. If the employee claims more exemptions than you think he's entitled to, that's their problem. It'll come to light when the employee files their federal and state income tax returns. If the employee consistently underwithholds, you will get a lock-in letter telling you how much you, as the employer, is required to withhold and deposit, regardless of what the employee wants. The state you are in may have a state income tax withholding requirement. The state may use the federal Form W-4, or the state may have its own unique form. The U.S. Department of Labor has links for all state withholding forms. Basically, the same rules apply as on the federal form, but you should read the instructions in case there are slightly different rules. The last form you must get from each new employee is a Form I-9 from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. This form is used to verify that the employee is authorized to work in the United States. The employee has to complete and sign Section 1 of the form on their first day of employment. As the employer, you must complete Section 2 within 3 business days. That includes examining the documents that the employee provides, recording the documents, completing Section 2, and signing the form. You don't have to photocopy the documents presented, but I recommend that you do. You are required to attest that the documents appear to be genuine. The best proof of that is a copy in the file. The newest revision of the I-9 was issued in March of 2013, and you must start using it no later than May 7th, 2013. You don't need to redo old I-9s for existing employees, but you must start using the new form for new employees. There can be substantial penalties, including fines and prison, for failing to complete and keep I-9s or for deliberately hiring people who you know are not authorized to work in the U.S. If you're not sure about what you're doing after reading the instructions thoroughly, talk to your CPA. Or if you outsource payroll, talk to your payroll provider. The cost of non-compliance can be very high. Employers who don't properly complete, save, or make I-9 forms available for audit can face fines ranging from $100 to $1,100 per I-9. Employers who knowingly hire or continue to knowingly employ unauthorized workers may face penalties that can range from $250 to $11,000 per violation. And employers who deliberately practice the act of knowingly hiring or employing unauthorized workers may be hit with fines of up to $3,000 per unauthorized employee and/or 6 months in prison. Please see Part 2 for additional information and record-keeping requirements.